Good morning. Jamming out.
Oh, I was listening to the cool little intro thing that producer Nick was running, and I was like getting into the vibe, and I was like, yeah. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are from around the world.
Wherever you are, happy today.
I like that. I think we should take that over. That should be our new thing. Happy today, friend.
Happy today.
Yeah, because you don't have to say, because in the community we do GM. Like GM has been a big thing. It's kind of like, feels like maybe it's jumped the shark, right? Maybe a little.
And what's funny is that, like, that is like literally, if you go back to like 1300s, like England, that was the expression. Good morrow. Good morrow.
Good morrow. But I like happy today. I think we should just start running with that from now on, G. Happy
today, because it covers everybody.
Oh man, you're brilliant. Again, the crypto oracle, Gerald Vada, and give folks how can they follow you on the Twitter and your Telegram and your group and what?
Yeah, it should be right there at the bottom of the screen. GER313.x. That's my Twitter. That's my Telegram. That's mostly everything out there. That's my brand. That's
there he is.
me.
I'm just gonna retweet the room out here. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why not? And yeah, I highly recommend checking out my Medium page. A lot of the articles were sponsored by our friends at QE, but lots of good stuff in there, from my article on who I think Satoshi is, from how to dollar cost average, to lots of good info and tips and tricks of the trade in there. Highly recommend. Good stuff.
Yeah. And before we get into the big program today, we want to thank our sponsors, of course, Roundly X, the Bitcoin Live Network, and the entire family of shows, and all the great sponsors for being a part of it and helping to make this thing happen.
Indeed. Thank you so much to Bitcoin Live, to Roundly X, to Quantum Economics, and everyone that supports us here and what we do.
All right. All righty. So where do you want to lead this thing off, Oracle?
So today, obviously, the tweet of the day is the community notes tweet that I have. I think I have it right here. Let me just pull it up from Miss Elizabeth Warren, which I've been stating for over even before she started to comment on Bitcoin. I have stated this time and time again that over 98% of crime in the world is done with the dollar, right? People like Benjamins. They don't like Bitcoin. They don't like rubles. They don't like yen to do crime. They like the Benjamins. So here is that. Like the dollar bill, y'all. But this is the community note, and let's just have it be point out. She's trying to say that rogue nations use crypto to dodge sanctions, et cetera, et cetera. And clearly the note underneath U.S. Treasury Department's February 2022 National Money Laundering Risk Assessment Report states that fiat is the preferred currency for financial crimes. And let's be very specific, the U.S. dollar, not just paper money, but U.S. paper money is the traditionally used crime for terrorism, money laundering, racketeering, organized crime, et cetera, et cetera. It's not Bitcoin. This is a straight up 100% lie. The end.
Did she have any comment back on that? Did she reply at all back, or
no?
what?
But she's going to lose. I don't know if she's going to lose this election, but she's going to slowly bleed out her sponsors and donors because she's slowly alienating the people who she's supposed to protect and defend. Over the last 8 years, she has slowly become Jamie Dimon type. She defends the banksters now.
You know what? That makes a nice segue into, I want to just build on what you were just saying. Nick, if you can bring up my Twitter screen, we're talking about JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon and money laundering and criminal activity. Well, let's take a look at what our good friend Peter McCormick posted out the other day, just kind of going through and looking at the history of Jamie Dimon, and we go through and you look at all these different. Look at this. JP Morgan again agrees to pay $920 million. Yeah, okay.
So now we're up to like 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion.
And the Epstein sex trafficking operation. Oh my God. Let's go on.
Everything that they say Bitcoin is used for, JP Morgan is intertwined
JP Morgan
into.
Is guilty AF. So pot, guess what? It's kettle. You're black.
Yeah, surprise! You're guilty as sin.
I'm not even 5 minutes in, Gerald, and I need a Xanax and a Bud Light. I'm hot.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Maybe there's some green tea, some Luli tea will calm my central nervous system. And
here's my green. That's my tea.
Happy today.
Happy today. Yeah. So again, the fact that people want to try and keep throwing, from Jamie Dimon last week, saying the same kind of rhetoric, right? This is the identical rhetoric that you see. Who let's be very clear. Senator Warren, before she was a senator, was on the was it the she was appointed by Obama to be on the banking committee,
Yes.
right? It's like this
banking subcommittee.
Yeah, to be like an independent observer, right? To be this objective person, and now she's saying the same thing that Jamie Dimon says, right, about Bitcoin, and she's also a multi-millionaire, right? She's like what, like 70 to $100 million. She's not poor, right? So she wants to protect her investments and her assets, and she thinks the best way is to slander Bitcoin. But she has to realize that this is illegal, especially in Europe. Now that Bitcoin is a protected asset in European markets under its ETPs, and it is now asset in the ETFs, you can no longer say these things that you're saying, that Bitcoin is a scam and Bitcoin's used for a crime. Even though,
I think that's why Dimon really changed his tone on it. He's like, you do what you want. You have a free choice.
But last week he still used those same terms, right? Crime.
He used the word shit. He called it shit.
Yeah, and he said sex trafficking, which nobody, you know what's used for sex trafficking? We just saw the dollars, the F's.
JP Morgan, you guys.
Yeah, you guys. Sending people to the island. Oh, surprise.
I don't get this. How can he sit there in Davos with a straight face and just bold-faced freaking lie? It's insane.
Again, they both are. And again, I'm not surprised that there isn't a cadre of European investors that is putting together a class action suit against them. I wouldn't be surprised. There's my crystal ball. There's the prediction.
I think, Nick, if you just bring it back, let's just go back and look at again these things. JP Morgan, what have you been guilty of, Jamie Dimon? 200 million. Let him employ to. And there's one here.
That was just recently too. That WhatsApp was just settled like not even a year ago, for that insider trading stuff. And let's not forget
precious metals and treasury.
Exactly, the silver, $1 billion for the silver short manipulation, right?
What about the gold that was on the ship that they owned, right? Remember the gold? Yeah.
And let's not forget Wells Fargo with them making up fake accounts, right? And doing complete fraud, 100% fraud. And again, the list of the banksters committing fraud, and then they're going to keep saying that Bitcoin. No, what's happening is the light that is shined from Bitcoin is starting to shine in the cracks, and they don't like that, right? They don't like the fact that Bitcoin makes things be above board, and anything truly that is cryptographic, any layer one cryptographic money that you can look and peek under the hood and look at the ledger, they don't like that. Right? Because cooking the books is how most of this crime is done, right? They can take the books and finagle them the way they want and hide stuff, right? Bernie Madoff did this for years. He did this.
I think this goes into a greater point, which will lead into our ETF conversation. And I kind of made this point a little bit last week when you're talking about how they're able to control and manipulate these markets. And this is the thing when we talk about these Bitcoin ETFs, where I think a lot of people are maybe missing the boat a little bit, is that that Wall Street does not have the position set up where they have the asset. They don't have a bunch of the asset, right? They don't. That's why they're coming in now. They're late to the party.
Until now.
Until now. Now that's why they're gobbling it up. And I think that's why you're seeing the price. Like Caitlin Long was on with Coinage last week, and she said that, most of the Bitcoin doesn't move. It's been, as well as I do, it's been sitting there and it doesn't move. It doesn't trade, which is great because that, again, Wall Street can't build up these positions where they have a mass clearinghouse and then they can paper over it just like they've done with gold traditionally since the gold ETFs launched back in 04, right? So we the diamond hands folks, the folks like Michael Saylor, the folks who've been in Bitcoin, we front ran, whatever, you know what I mean? We front run these guys way before. And so Wall Street is having a hard time getting that spot position where they can act in that same capacity like they do with gold. And I think that's a big point.
Yeah, and perfect segue into what we're going to talk about. Is the big right?
Dude, how did you do, Nick? That was awesome, Nick. Thank you. Producer Nick, give him some love.
But the first thing I wanted to pull up is this chart over here. Let me see. And it is, let me make sure I got the right one. It is the Bitcoin one. Okay, it's this one. So as you can see, let me go back.
You might have to reshare it.
Okay, give me a sec.
Hey, while you're doing that.
Bitcoin price update. Bitcoin
Yes.
Price update.
Time for a Bitcoin price update. This just in, Gerald. 1 Bitcoin?
It's still 1 Bitcoin.
Yes, exactly. Very good. There you go.
Thank
There's
you.
your Bitcoin price update.
So again, let me pull this up, and I had it right over here. This is the one. Okay, that's what's messing me up. So this chart right here, this is a Bitcoin wallet inflow and outflow. And as you can see right here on December, like I think it was 30th, notice this big green spike here.
Can we go full screen on that, Nick, please? So we can get a better look at that. Is that possible? There we go. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can see on like right around the end of the year, we can see this huge inflow of Bitcoin, right? And if we go back, and I've been studying, this is a new reference tool I've been using for the last couple months. They're called COINGLASS. Highly recommend them. But as I've been studying the ETFs, I've been looking at Bitcoin exchanges, their actual inventory and what they have, right? So the really interesting thing that you can see is on the 30-day outflow for a Coinbase Pro, you can see they've 31,180 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Gemini 6,278, right? So again, on the 30 days, we can see there's a lot of Bitcoin getting bought up by the spot ETFs, which is good. But if we go down to the bottom of the screen here, we can look at the total. It's like around 1.9, and we can see 24-hour change, green, 7-day change, green. 30-day change, green. So what I think we're seeing right now is we're seeing the miners before the halving, right? They're taking advantage of these good, stable 40K prices. And we can also see in the news the last couple of days that Grayscale is selling some of their Bitcoin to the spot ETFs as well. So
there's also a FTX dumped like what, 22 million. They dropped like 22 million or so. I saw the tweet this morning. They're liquidating a bunch of their positions in
oh, really? Because I didn't know they had any corn.
Yeah.
I thought they had very limited supply of corn still.
I don't have my screen ready, but maybe Nick can find it if he can. But yeah, it was out there this morning. I think Alistair Milne tweeted it out, and Crypto NDO, a bunch of folks were talking about it. But yeah, FTX liquidated. 22 was the number, and excuse me, I've only had one Xanax and a Coors Light today, so I'm not on my game. But it was like 22 million or 22 billion or something like that.
Okay.
A quick Google search on the Google machine will help you find that. But
yeah,
that's a big dump and reason why you're seeing price.
Yeah, and I want to pull up this as well. I want to pull up the hash rate.
500 million. I thought it was more than that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's 500 million. Okay. But I do want to pull up the hash rate chart. Give me a second. And I can pull that up. Boom, boom, boom. Hash rate.
Yeah, just hit another all-time high over the weekend. Didn't it?
I believe it didn't hit a new all-time high, but there it is. I wanted to show what I had seen, right? So we were, I think, like right in here, I think before our last show, and ever since we had this cold storm, a lot of the miners, and like again, one of the things I don't like about all the miners, grouping in Texas, is that you're putting all the miners in one jurisdiction, and that could become
that grid. ERCOT and their grid is
and their grid is a little on the ancient side.
Right? Yeah.
But the thing is,
Thank you,
they
Nick.
got paid to turn off, and this is what we saw, right? Like literally, they got paid to turn off, and it went down to about 383 exahashes,
Yeah,
which
that's
still
right.
isn't the lowest for the last 6 months, which is right about here. It looks like it was like August 28th. It hit about 327. But as we see the miners start to turn back on, because this cold snap is slowly breaking this week, we're going to see it go right back up into this range. So we probably are going to see it hit like, possibly 700, 750 exahashes, 800, or, what I said in the last show, possibly even getting to a ZETTAHASH, which minds exploding if you understand computer science.
When
And with that,
70K? When 70K, Gerald? That's what we want to know.
that's what everyone wants to know. So exactly. So here's the thing. So we have the miners and we have Grayscale really liquidating a lot of this Bitcoin, but it's immediately being bought up by the spots, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
we're going to see it kind of hover in this range, right? I said this. I said this is a possibility in show 2, right? They might want to keep it sideways in these price ranges so they can scoop up as much as they can within the ranges that they've deemed fit, right? And 40, like I said, 40 to 45 is where they want to keep it. So I've calculated my birthday again. March 13th. 313. Now you're starting to get it. 313. It's a magical day.
Hey, we just broke below 40 right here. We just man, the fight is on literally right now as we speak. I've been watching this. 40 seems to have been the resistance throughout the past week, the past couple days. But
but don't be surprised if we do go into the 30s, because again, we did just have that big dip in hash power, and it wouldn't surprise me if we pull back a little bit more. But as I look into the future, forecasting the future with the hash power, all signs point to March 13th again. And again, why is March 13th an important day? Because if we go back to the history of Bitcoin, on March 13th, 2011, this is when the banks and Cypriots started to take a haircut, and all these Cypriots, wealthy Cypriots, middle-class Cypriots, Russian oligarchs, Russian gangsters, they all started taking their money, and they all started in that day buying Bitcoin. And that's when Bitcoin went.
Nick's got the article up right there. Can you go full screen on that for us, Nick?
Oh, yeah,
please? Yeah. The CoinDesk FTX sold.
It says about $1 billion, but I thought
billion.
You said it was 500 million. That's a big difference.
That was an older. Yeah, no, he found the wrong. Now he's got the latest one. This is the latest one.
Oh, it's probably when Bitcoin
today.
was 20K.
This is the one that came out today that everybody's talking about. That I think has got a lot of folks. Alistair was tweeting it. Wendy was talking about it. I saw it. I don't think I reshared it, but this is the one. So yeah.
Oh, FTX. So they were paper hodlers.
Well, once they're able to unlock it, I mean, if you had your money locked up and you were gonna get paid, paper hands, exactly. If you had to pay a 1.5% fee to convert that into the ETF, or you could withdraw it and take it out, what are you gonna do? Probably withdraw it and take it out, right?
Yeah, it's true. Unless you're smart and realize that and again, like I was saying, why do I think it's March 13th? Because again, I think it's going to take about 30 to 90 days for all of that liquid Bitcoin to start getting bought up and to actually see real scarcity on the exchanges, right? That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling about that time. I mean, you have to be clear. I also think that out of these 11 ETFs, I think 3 or 4 don't survive this first year. They just won't.
So down or sideways, Nick says. I think it's probably crab. You're crabbing.
Yeah, we're crabbing for a minute. It might go in
from Deadliest Catch, because he lives where I live, like in Valley. I'm gonna get Sig. He knows all about crabbing. We're gonna get the Deadliest Catch guys on here. We're gonna crab the shit out of this market.
But yeah, it's don't be surprised. Like I said, from my tweet, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where we see it go like one more dip, come back up, and then slowly climb back up into the high 40s, low 50s, and then maybe even see 70K by March 13th, the end of March.
End of March.
Because the halving's coming, right? I've been checking that too. I'm very adamant about checking that date. When the hash power dropped, before the hash power dropped, it was looking about April 18th. Hash power dropped and the block times went and it pushed it right back to 420. So thank you for the cold snap. I know it sounds weird, but thank you for the cold snap pushing back the halving to 420. I love that.
Hey, I got a if you can pull up my screen, I've got a live look right now of traders. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I got the right.
And I'm going to pull up the halving date as well and see if we're still on schedule for that.
Which screen am I sharing? Share screen. Here we go. Yeah, I've got a live look right now of traders in the crab market.
Oh, let's see it. Ah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. 39K. I see that.
They're crabbing right there. Look at that. They're trading the Bitcoin. We're crabbing. There's a live look of folks on the crypto trading. No, that's funny.
I want to pull up that.
Told you I'm only on one Xanax and a Bud Light today, so you know I'm not.
Pull out your vape pen. And there it is. 420. It is slated for April 20th. So you have to realize that this is a big point that people aren't elucidating on, right? Right now, the miners, you know, if they win a block, they're getting 6, right? And in another couple of months, it's going to be 3. So they're going to become really less. As time moves on, the miners are going to sell less and less, right? Because this is just a fact. This is how it's built in, right? So as we get to 3 and we cut the 3.125 in half and we get down to what's that, 1.79, some crazy number or whatever. They're going to continue to sell less and less and less. But after that halving, I'm pretty sure the miners are going to go on lockdown and not sell for a while.
So why sell now, though? If you're a miner, let's say you're like our friend Mr. Greenspan and the team over there, Quantum Economics, where they're doing Bitcoin mining through Quantum Expeditions. Why, if you are a miner, maybe like Jason Dean, he's a Bitcoin miner. I know folks who are miners, miner 49ers. Why would you sell right now then? Why would you sell? Why not just hang? Why not just hang?
There is many reasons to be selling. Obviously, overhead. If you do have a high electrical bills, you have to sell. You have to pay these bills down. Or if there's new ASICs coming out, right? So that's the other thing. Miners will hoard before like the new, Bitmain, what was the last one? The L9. So I guess it's like the L10s or whatever. I guess that's the next one coming out. So they'll hoard their Bitcoin before the next big ASIC miner comes out. And then when it comes out, you'll notice all of a sudden, if I pulled up like that Bitcoin inflow chart, you'll notice right after the release of one of these big miners, you'll see the inflow of Bitcoin go up on the exchanges. So there's a cadre of reasons why the miners sell, but that's part of their business model. That's, I think I was watching a short little video from the Crypto Lark where he's like, that's their whole MO, right? They mine Bitcoin and then they sell it. I was like, he's so funny. But yes, it's that's totally part of their business model. But I think after this halving, we're going to see less and less miners sell it because we're going to see the price go up so drastically. So they won't have to sell as much, right? They can sell fractions and it becomes, lucrative to sell fractions of a Bitcoin.
Jim Cramer, I think, gave us the strongest indicator today. He said, if you can find the tweet, Nick, I'll stretch it out till you pull it up. I don't have it on my screen because I got something else I'll pull up. But Jim Cramer, the reverse Cramer, gave us, I think, the best indicator of Bitcoin, saying that basically today that he thought that Bitcoin was not going to find any footing at all anymore. And, basically pack it in, kids. Bitcoin's not going to find its footing. It's over.
He said that so many times, and he's really good at this stuff.
Again, the reverse Cramer, again, it's just one of those. I think there's a whole algo on that, isn't there? Or people you can actually trade.
Yes, there is the inverse Cramer Twitter feed. And
Nick, go full screen on that, could you please? Just so we can see it, because again, Cramer's always just Cramer.
Yeah, and again, it blows my mind. I also saw a tweet, I think, from him.
Unlikely that Bitcoin finds its footing. There we go. That was from this
Yeah.
morning. And again, let's just good. Hey, Nick, good. What were some of those? Some of the replies were pretty good in there as well. 100K incoming.
Yeah.
I love the comments that people reply to him. Bottom signal flashed.
But yeah, again, I also saw him tweet that he doesn't think Bitcoin's ever going to hit 100K. He did that today as well. So,
oh gosh,
the fact that he's tweeting this out, you're just poking this. Let me see if I can find it.
Spectre. Hey, we know Spectre. JD's a fan of Spectre, isn't he, Nick? Yeah. On the Bitcoin Live family of shows.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh, I can just sit there and read the comments when people like troll back to Kramer. It's just freaking hilarious.
Let me see if I can find it, but oh, here it is. Okay, so let me share this one.
Man, the fight is on at 40K, friend. I'm telling you. I mean, it is just
So this is from Walker America. If you just look at this, right? Look at, here's Satoshi's position. Here's the lost block. And again, one of my Bitcoin economic theories is Bitcoin actuarials, right? Where things happen, right? Things happen and Bitcoin goes bye-bye. This black box, just like purple hodl waves will grow, this black box will grow as well, right? But the thing I want the, the BlackRocks of the world to see is look at our position.
Yeah, individuals.
And look at y'all's position.
Right.
So if you think you can fight this, good luck.
Right. And this goes back to what we talked about even at the beginning, like Caitlin Long said last week on Coinage. 70% of it is squirreled away. It does not trade. And that's
correct.
Well, that's now probably like Michael Saylor because he's got most of it now, right? But I mean, but it is the folks like like you, like myself. It's the diamond hand plebes. A lot of us who got in, even before 2017, right? The Max Kaisers of the world, the orange pill maxis. They ain't selling. It ain't moving, man.
Yeah, unless and some of these people do have liquid wallets. I have liquid wallets, right? I made a video the other day showing how I downloaded the Aqua wallet.
I wanted to get into that. Maybe we can get. Let's transition.
Definitely.
I didn't say. I said I wasn't going to use that word, but I guess since I just said the transition word, I guess we can transition.
You're
Nick,
flagged.
I guess.
Pull up my page, and I will just.
I made a big point about it in our production meeting behind the scenes, and here I
oops. I think I got it.
If you need more proof that I'm an idiot, there you go. There it is for you, friend.
The other thing I want to comment before we go into that, because it just came up on my feed. Dave Ramsey is an idiot. I'm sorry. I have to say this, and I hope he hears it. If you don't know who
reshared this, a lot of us reshared that video though.
Yeah, and again, he thinks that we can pay back $33 trillion. The only way that's possible is with Bitcoin. That is the only way that's possible, bro.
He can't say the silent part out loud, Gerald. He can't. He's Dave Ramsey. He can't say that. That's why you and I are here to say that.
But the other thing is why I think he's an idiot is because someone asked him, who owns our T-bills? And he's like, well, I don't know. You don't know, dude? It's called the Foreign Securities Exchange Report. Let me just point that out, right? You can go up,
Gerald. Pull up the Foreign Exchange Report and let's see who owns all that garbage.
Yeah, you know what? I should have done that.
Probably China. They own a lot of the T-bills. A lot of foreign countries. Hell, hold on. I had it up on my screen earlier. Brazil. This morning. I'm going to go back to it, Nick, and you can pull it up while Gerald's looking for his.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, here. I've got it right here. Pull it up on my screen. Brazil files to sell USD bonds. This is as of this morning. Nick, you got it up there on my am I sharing it? I think I'm sharing it, Nick. Yeah, on mine, Nick. Yeah, on mine. Thank you. Yeah, this morning. Brazil filing to sell USD bonds. Brazil's credit rating upgraded. Brazil contemplates sweeping tax overhaul. Brazil cuts rates by a half point. Ukraine and Argentina. But again, remember, friend, Brazil puts the B in BRICS.
This is correct.
Oh, I have to.
And
I
did find that.
Hold on a
in
second.
2 seconds. I found that. I found that in 2 seconds. Shocker.
There it is. Brazil. There you go. So talking about who owns the bonds, keeping track of the bonds, Brazil dumping their bonds. Now, you got the report up, G?
Yes, I do. Here it is. Boom. And as you can see, number 1, Japan, China, UK, Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland. Number 7, they've moved down, which is good because they used to be number 3 or 4. The Cayman Islands, right? You see that? Yeah, that should scare most of America. Why is one of the shadiest banking island countries?
Why should that scare us, Gerald? Why?
Well, again, so if you're not familiar with banking laws, Cayman Islands have the loosest banking laws. Hi, Raul. How are you doing down there, Raul pal?
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
Shots fired. But they have the shadiest banking laws in the world for a reason. The fact that the Cayman Islands is a major holder of our foreign securities is shady. And I've said this for some time now, but nobody wants to talk about it. Let's keep ignoring the canary in the coal mine. But yeah, this is who owns all of our T-bills. And as you can see, China is now number 1. They used to be number 1. As you can see, Russia used to be like number 2 or 3. I don't see them. Where are they at? I don't see them on there anymore either. So they're probably on there.
Where's Brazil on that list?
Brazil
now if they're dumping.
They're in the middle there. They're on there. But again, countries I used to see, I don't see on here anymore. And it looks like Japan is like becoming the main holder of our T-bills, which is scary because, again, if you know what the yen's been doing, they've been
moving. Their economy's actually kind of been moving a little bit in a positive direction. They've even been talking about coming off negative interest rates recently.
Oh my gosh, that would be a miracle.
Did you hear that? This is like,
I did not.
No, seriously, in the last couple of weeks, yeah, because China is printing like crazy. You're exactly right. But no, the Japanese, the economy is actually looking a lot better in Japan most recently. And again, they are, like I said, there's been talks of them going in the opposite direction, reversing their trend of negative interest rates.
I hope you're right, because they've been pulling the same kind of phony baloney banking tactics that most of the Western world has been pulling, where we keep printing, and in real Keynesian economics, you're supposed to print more money, right? Spend more money, make stuff, make more money, put money aside for the rainy days, and pay back the debt. But we forgot all the important stuff. We just keep printing. And Japan's done the same thing. Print more yens, print more yen, more yen, print more yen. So I hope you're right.
That was rumored. Nick, I don't know if you found that or not, but there were reports all across the different media outlets on the big market news channels and whatever, CNBC and Bloomberg and all that.
But yeah, the only way we're paying back that debt is if the United States realizes we need to go into a full Bitcoin economy, and that saves America.
On Japan, Nick. Yeah. Where Japan was talking about reversing their negative interest rates and coming.
That's all. Again, that would be awesome, because negative interest rates are dumb.
Man.
Bitcoin price update.
Exactly. We're still fighting it. Yeah, one Bitcoin. Yeah, it's still one Bitcoin. Still one Bitcoin, Gerald.
Oh wow.
Is Nick's got it here? Yeah.
Oh.
Gosh, Nick is the best, man. The Bitcoin Live production team. And what's so great about this is truly decentralized broadcasting, because he's like somewhere like in Kathmandu in a cave, right? He's got like a Starlink satellite connection. Thank you, Elon Musk. And he just sits back in a cave in Kathmandu and he does it all. Nick, you're amazing. I don't know how you freaking do it, buddy. Maybe we'll make a trip to Kathmandu in his cave and see if he's got that. But yeah, there it is. Look at that. Bank of Japan to end negative interest rates in 2024. Over 80% of economists say this is big, G.
No, again, I hope this is correct because, but the scary part is, it says over 80% of economists say, yeah, I don't trust those
those economists. Yeah, they're
those
like the doctors that
economists.
told us about the flu, the COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, 6
Yeah,
feet apart and wear a mask.
yeah.
Take these
Inflation.
injections.
Inflation is not coming. Oh, funny. Yeah, you
Yeah.
said that for a few years. How did that work out?
I believe the term that we like to throw around back in 2019 was global inflationary recession, and at that time, a lot of people were like, "That's a big word, and what does that even mean?" Right? Nobody even, I think, understood the concept. Few did. Smart people.
Yeah,
like
but they
Mark
were
Yusko.
using like these, euphemisms to make it sound like, and then eventually they had to pivot. And then remember, there's articles. Inflation is good. What?
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Like, come on, you guys are clowns. We're living in clown world. Inflation is not good, right? Inflation is bad, right? When you print up money ad infinitum, right, which means forever. Just keep pressing the burr button.
Modern monetary theory.
You keep doing that again. I don't have shrinkflation is just the beginning, right? It then debases products and services across the board because, again, perfect example. They find out this one ingredient in your toothpaste costs too much money, so they take that out, right? And now your toothpaste isn't like it used to be, right? So again, it's just slowly over time, printing more money just makes things shittier. It's just a fact. It just happens. Do I need to point out like housing across the globe, right? Where when go back to like 100 years ago when we used to build houses out of stone, brick, and mortar. Look at castles, right? Castles from hundreds and hundreds of years ago that are still standing to this day. And we can see some of these houses built 30 years ago in parts of China, parts of US, parts of South America, etc., that are falling down, right? So again, if you like quality and you like things to last, start saving in Bitcoin, right? I don't know how many times I've got to say this to people. 2% over 10 years is 20%. You have $1,000 in your bank. It goes to $800 in 10 years. How is that good if you're a plebe? It is not, right? They want to keep you in serfdom, right? That's their whole goal, is to keep you in serfdom. How do you get out of serfdom? You stack sats and you stack Litecoin. Those are your two options. And that's, again, why Bitcoin ETF is not our friend. They're secretly attacking Bitcoin in front of our faces, right?
Absolutely.
So when Bitcoin gets to these super high prices, L1 becomes unusable, because what's going to happen when Bitcoin's $375,000? Well, a transactional fee is going to be like $99. These are facts, right? And at that point, do not be surprised. I'm not the only one to say this. Do not be surprised if Larry Fink and the like start talking about time to make our own fork, right? Fork you.
But what? Let's just go back and explain like I'm five here. Lightning Network, Liquid, all these other layer twos on top of Bitcoin, and even then, and this is where I think like the XRP maxis and even the XLM seller crowd would get excited, is that you can then tokenize the Bitcoin if you needed to, and then put it on that, and then it's like wrapped and it's fast and it gets there, right? So you can
again there's lots of options. I think the smart things are going to matriculate to the side of the spectrum that you're speaking of, right? The dumb things are going to be, they're going to try and fork Bitcoin, right? And most of the community is going to be like,
oh God, no, exactly. The OG devs, the folks like Adam Back, Dr. Adam Back, Blockstream, those core devs are going to be like, not having it. They went through this in 2017, and I know that
Exactly.
there's lots of friends, and even in the Bitcoin network family that are probably pro ordinals, and they want to adjust the block size, and they have their point, and they have their point of view, and I'm going to respectfully disagree because I'm a bit of an OG maxi. You don't fuck with Bitcoin. You don't fuck with the block size. You just Bitcoin is what it is. It doesn't need to be changed. Doesn't need to be fixed. Sure. Oh, you don't want to drive a same Model T forever, do you? Well, you know what? Maybe I don't, but I want to collect it, and I want to maybe take it out and drive it in a parade and have it and appreciate it. Yeah. And I still think there's a lot of value to that. And with side chains, I'm going to default to the folks, the core devs who are working on it more so than like a stupid guy in his office bedroom doing a live stream who probably doesn't know nearly as much, or folks who are watching outside are like, I'm in my car. Most of us don't fucking know. Okay. We're just tourists in this space. Okay. And I'm going to default and defer to the folks who actually are doing the work on it. The folks who have doctorate degrees, not like Dr. Pepper or Dr. Dre or Dr. Scholes, but like Dr. Adam Back. So no, I think there's still lots of room there on these on the side chains of BTC, whether it's Liquid or Lightning. So, but
no, agreed. And I did just pull up that video. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up right now, and we can watch, right? Because everyone should be learning.
Perfect. Yes, I was hoping you were going to share this before we ran out.
Yeah, one of my big things is as a Bitcoin economist is also teaching, right? Because there's a lot of people, there's still maxis out there that don't even know how to use the Lightning Network, right? That's pretty sad. And this is true, right? This is not a BS. I'm not making this up. And a couple years ago, I would have said that the Lightning, and I've made this analogy, the Lightning Network for non-technical people is like, going from basic arithmetic to quadratic equations, right? It's can be complicated, but over the last year or so, it's become very, very easy. And let's just watch. Let me just make sure I'm in the center of the frame here. There we go.
I'm making this video today to show you guys how truly easy it is to use the Lightning Network now. So I just downloaded the Aqua wallet, which is a L1 and an L2, which means you can send Bitcoin using the main layer, and you could also use the Lightning layer. And I was testing the Lightning layer today, but this is obviously to show you how easy it is to use the Lightning Network in this day and age, even just from a few years ago. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to generate an invoice for 5,001 Satoshis. That's the minimum you can send on the Cash App. So we want to go to our Aqua wallet. We're going to hit receive. Like I said, we're going to generate an invoice for 5,001 Satoshis. We're going to generate that invoice. We're going to hit copy. We're now going to jump back, and we're going to hit send Bitcoin. Like I said, we did 5,001 Satoshis. That is the minimum. We're going to hit send. You can literally paste your LN invoice right into Cash App. Boom. It's going to ask you to confirm it. Good to go. Next. It's going to ask for confirmation, pay that. I always use biometrics, hardened biometrics, not soft biometrics. Facial scans are soft biometrics. Done. Go over to here. Boom.
Boom.
Done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thank you again to the team at Jan3. Samson, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
See, you need to do more videos like that, Gerald. Do more content like that.
I will continue to do that because again, I want people to understand, this isn't super difficult anymore. This is anything, it's cut and paste, right? Click.
Yeah.
You saw how quickly it was less than a minute.
Yeah.
I was sending, 5,000 Satoshis. And the really cool part is that Cash App allows you to do that. They don't allow you to receive through LN just yet, but they do allow you to send. And you saw I got 5,001 Satoshis instantly, cost cost me nothing in fees, and it happened like within a few seconds, right?
Right. And
So
see,
people,
so I think so when we're talking about the fees like getting larger, right, over time, this is the counter to that. Is what
oh
I'm
yeah,
what I'm
definitely. And if you if you go back, let me see if I could pull it up one more time, to that actual.
I do think, though, in my opinion, though, I do think that major institutions, probably more like banking, when we get farther down the road, they'll probably tokenize Bitcoin and then put it on XLM or XRP, because that's going to probably be their method of choice to use a cross-border payment system like that, because they're more those systems were designed for banking specifically, for cross-border payments specifically.
Yeah, and the point I was trying to make is, if you, let me see if I can pull it up. Give me one second. I just want to see if I can get a screenshot of it. Yeah, I have it open in the wallet, but in the wallet itself, on the main page, it says, saving section and spending section. And that's what I've said for some time, right? If you're new to Bitcoin, you use the L1 as your savings account and use L2 as your checking account, right? And if that's too complicated for you, right, I said, you can use L1 as your savings account and then use Litecoin L1 as your checking account, right? And that's the other thing that people say nobody uses Litecoin. Let's be very clear. I want to make this abundantly clear. Litecoin has outpaced Bitcoin for payments this year in 2024. It's the first time it's happened, but more people use Litecoin to pay for stuff than Bitcoin. So that's why I'm a Litecoin bull.
Flexa? Is that through like Flexa, or how are they?
That's through BitPay tracking that. And I don't think Flexa has any metrics to track with their application just yet, but I know a lot of people do use the spending app with Litecoin. That's probably I would not be surprised if that's the top cryptocurrency used with the Flexa spending app is Litecoin as well.
Okay.
But that's the thing is, when L1 does become bloated, a lot of money moves to Litecoin. It's just facts. And Litecoin addresses are up like, I don't know how many percent, like 300,000% this year, 360,000%. So somebody's buying Litecoin.
I'm just looking at the charts here on CoinMarketCap as I look at it. It's just red everywhere, man. I mean, it's just,
these are my
everything's
favorite
red.
days.
Everything's red. Yeah, if you've got the powder to buy,
I do.
Okay, well, good for you.
You're like, damn it.
I'm gonna have to sell some plasma to make a trip to the blood bank.
But yeah, that's the other thing is dollar cost averaging, right, is your friend, right? I have many friends that do not apply this method, they do not apply this technique, and they do not sleep well at night. Whether they're buying Bitcoin or they're buying their favorite shitcoin, you should never just buy a huge swath, right? I don't care if it's 10K a Bitcoin or 10K a bonk. As soon as you place that order, right, there are market makers out there that have their limit sell orders set, right? And as soon as you come into that market, if it goes up just at 2-3% and it hits their trigger, boom, you're getting auto dumped on. It's not even personal. It's literally just the program closing, it's executing, right? That's all it's doing. And those market makers will make you rue the day. So dollar cost average, you got 10K, take 500 and try and set up Cash App with that buy the dips video I made, right? And boom, every time it hits those dips, it'll buy that $500 worth of Bitcoin. And over 2 months, your 10K will be injected at all those dips. And then when Bitcoin actually makes its moves, you're almost all in the green.
Right. Hey, let's move on to the next segment. I wanted to bring something up. Nick, can you play one of those really cool videos that you do in between the segments? I'm not going to. I love those. It makes me feel like it's a real show or something. Like,
we're so official.
So one thing as we continue our Bitcoin conversation here, and thank you on the Bitcoin Live Network for hosting us and doing this, is last week Jenny Johnson from Franklin Templeton, right?
I shared
coming
this
out talking about Bitcoin, yeah. And the open. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not there. Yeah, I faked Nick out. But she was talking about the open source public blockchain that they are using as well, aside from Bitcoin, and that was Stellar XLM. Did you happen to catch her on the CNBC?
Yeah, that's what I think. I snipped up a clip of that, her saying that, and I think I have it right here. Yep. Not talking about the XLM. I have her talking about it right before that, where she's saying she's talked to people across the globe, and people said they keep like 50% in their savings because any given time I can have my assets, seized
by the government, right? Yeah,
exactly. And this, we saw this happen in Canada. We've seen this happen in the United States. We've seen it happen obviously in authoritarian countries and dictatorships alike. But yeah, let me pull this up.
But I thought that was really, again, that goes back to kind of our conversation just moments ago about the other open source networks that have that potential to tokenize assets, real world assets.
And one of
that's all right.
A believer is as I went around the world talking to people who would tell you, I had somebody who said, I keep 50% of my savings in Bitcoin because if I say the wrong thing in my country, I could have my assets confiscated. I remember talking to somebody in Israel who said, my parents and their parents had all of their assets confiscated. They keep a portion of it in Bitcoin. So there's a fear component to it.
Yeah. And again, this is, again, why Bitcoin is becoming more popular. As I stated earlier in the show, on my birthday, I think it was like 2011, that's when the Cypriot banks, said they were going to do the haircut, and all these people started moving their money into Bitcoin. And that's when people started to realize Bitcoin is the lighthouse in the foggy harbor, right? That is there to show you the light and protect you from this stupidity in the markets, right? And the stupidity in the markets right now is government practices of money printing, right? And there's nothing you can do to stop that, right? There's nothing I can do to stop that. There's nothing you can do to stop that. The only thing we can do collectively is say, I'm not going to participate in that economy. I'm going to participate in this new economy that doesn't support those types of activities. And that's called Bitcoin and Litecoin.
Yeah. Just trying to scroll through here, see if I have.
Oh yeah, and you're trying to find the clip. And yeah, again, they're all about XLM, and that plays right into what I'm talking about. When the L1 fees start getting super high on Bitcoin, then there's Litecoin. And when the fees go super high on Litecoin, if Litecoin goes to 10K and the fees start going out that, then there's XRP, XLM, Algo, etc.
And this goes to the point that I wanted to make earlier when we talk about XLM and XRP. Okay, so yeah, we know they're WEEF coins. The WEEF loves them. Okay, fine. And they're banker coins. I get that. But having been, and you're smarter than I am, so check my math here on this. I don't think that these tokens ever get over $1. They are not designed to be, because they're supposed to be cross-border. So for you to use them, they have to be relatively inexpensive. So I don't see the price of XLM or XRP ever really going over $1.
It's hard to say.
Look at the tokenomics of it. The supply, right? The market cap.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of with you, but at the same time, I've seen huge, somebody's been studying token economics for 5-6 years now.
Right.
I've seen, an Ethereum shitcoin that has like 100 billion supply hit almost $1, right? So, then we're talking about a shitcoin on the Ethereum network. We're not talking about Ethereum itself, right? Again, so yeah. I agreed. But my point is that if the right amount of money comes into a protocol, right, and it doesn't matter, right? You could see, I've seen XRP go from 30 cents back in, 2018 to like $5, right? So could it go higher than $5? Yes, it could most certainly go higher than $5. Would it stay at those prices? Probably not.
But doesn't that then though go back to the issue? It doesn't become cost effective to use it as a cross-border payment system.
Well, again, if you've used, I think you've had some XLM, so you're familiar with these, like as we call them, the non-precious metals, right? The
industrial
working metals,
cryptos.
industrial metals of
Right.
crypto. That doing these types of transactions doesn't matter. I mean, you're talking like thousands of a penny, right, to do a transaction. So if the main asset itself even goes up to like $100, it's still going to be very minimal transactional fees. Even when I think XRP was around $5, like $4.99, whatever it was, the fees were still very teeny. That's the beauty of these industrial cryptos, is the thing that makes, as we were stating in the last episode, that makes XRP gives it utility, is that it can, move massive amounts of money instantly, right? Like on-demand liquidity is a thing, right? It's like, pew, pew. Even though the Lightning Network can do that, you can't do that. I don't recommend doing it with millions of dollars.
Right. I would not.
No, I just don't recommend doing that with hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, why I've steered away from XLM is because of its, its architecture. I think it's behind the scenes can be more gamed than XRP. That's just my own personal opinion. But they all do the same thing.
Video here from Jenny.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's funny. I'm known for saying that Bitcoin's the greatest distraction from one of the greatest disruptions in financial services, which is blockchain. So a lot of people took that as I'm not a believer in Bitcoin, and yet, launching this ETF, you can see obviously the demand that's out there for Bitcoin, and I think there's a lot of reasons why that is. I think that, one, from a blockchain standpoint, the ability to pay, Bitcoin's going to be a key component of that. And the technology is going to open up a lot of really interesting types of investment opportunities. We actually launched a tokenized money market fund. We're the first mutual fund first traditional asset manager to actually launch a 40 Act fund on a public blockchain, on the Stellar blockchain.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is just one of the suite of what we think are opportunities here. Real opportunity in this blockchain world.
Right. So, I mean, the scenarios that you just outlined, that's the case for holding Bitcoin, the actual, you have the keys to the security as opposed to investing in an ETF. Right. So there's a use case for both.
For sure. But that still keeps a floor on the price, right? Yeah. So it keeps on the floor on the price. And then if you've actually tried to acquire and deal with the keys, it's really complicated. Yeah. Right? I mean, I did it at one point, and then I was trying to actually figure out how to get back in, and it's hard. And so being able to open it up and have access to that through an ETF,
yeah.
Okay, Boomer.
Simply through your brokerage account.
Yeah, you're proving my point about what I said the other day.
I think the clip though, Nick, I think it was right there. We missed. She said it. It's near the beginning. We did the money market fund, and she said right after money market fund.
Oh no, it was in there. It was in there.
Yeah.
She said it.
She said. She said
XLM on the XLM. Yeah. Yeah, and again, that's the cool part is, I think these industrial cryptos, yes, they do get more used, but we have to see the infrastructure, right? There's way more infrastructure for Bitcoin. There's way more infrastructure for Litecoin. There's way more infrastructure for even Dogecoin, sadly enough, than some of these industrial cryptos.
One thing that we're getting close on time that we haven't talked on or touched on, but let's just kind of send it off on this, and maybe it'd be a good note of some optimism. Elon talking about payments, launching the X payments account. A lot of speculation around that. What do you see in your crystal ball?
Well, so it's kind of frustrating because they just took away the ETH verification. So if you had a NFT picture, right? It used to have a hexagonal frame around it to let people know that this is a real NFT. And they just took that away, and they kind of didn't take away Lightning payments, but Lightning payments used to be like one button and you could tip somebody if they had their Lightning wallet
Right.
set up. Now that's like a couple of hoops you got to jump through. So clearly he's taking away everything as far as crypto payments goes. What is he going to bring back? I mean, clearly he's a Doge fan. I mean, that's just that's his thing, right? I honestly, if he's smart, he's just going to add like a Coinbase payments API, right?
Yeah.
And then he can take anything, right?
Right.
Like
I think that's what you do. You have a very open, broad kind of API, and then whatever currency, whatever flavor you want to participate in, it'll.
Exactly. I mean, if he doesn't do that, if it's just Doge, well, Elon's going to die on Dogecoin. There's my prediction. Because
you can't. I mean, you'd be just like, it's like the analogy is you want to have the broadest tent pole to bring the most people in, right? And if you just say Doge, well, that's going to just cut off. You just lost a whole swath of folks.
You lost millions of people. And don't get me wrong, I love Doge. I have pictures of me wearing Doge shirts. I got Doge socks. But it's for fun things, right? Just like Ethereum's for fun things. Bitcoin's for serious stuff. Litecoin's for serious stuff. XRP's for serious stuff. That you want to go build a video game? Yeah, go build it on Ethereum or Dogecoin.
Why not Solana?
And Solana.
Solana, man.
Solana
a lot of games on the Solana network. I know there's a lot. Very creative network, man. Very creative.
It is. Again, there's lots of
over there.
There's lots of cool stuff over there. But when it stops working, that's when I'm not a fan. And they just had another hack. So
what? I know Trezor. We didn't even talk about the Trezor hack. That wallet got hacked.
Which one?
Info. Trezor. It was a big story over the weekend.
I didn't
Paul
hear.
McNeil, you know what? You got to follow our boy Paul McNeil, the crypto curator, dude.
I follow Paul. I didn't see his tweet.
Did you not see his story? Oh yeah, Nick, producer Nick. Can before we run out of time, can you throw up some love
one
to
more
the crypto
story.
curator? One last story. We got that's a good way to plug the crypto curator Paul McNeil and his shows on the Bitcoin Live Network. And I love Paul. He's been in this game a long time.
Guy.
But yeah, Trezor. It was emails and info. It's just like Ledger, just kind of like the Ledger info hack that happened. Same thing basically happened in
so it was information, not keys or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just like
and again, let's point out why this is better than the Web 2.0, right? The Web 2.0 information gets hacked. Yeah, potential for all of not only your information and other stuff, your assets can be also poof. When it's the Web 3, right? Yeah, they can get that information all they want, but they're not getting your Bitcoin, right? It's not happening. It's protected under SHA-256 cryptography. If they don't have the key, they're not getting to it. That's a huge difference between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0.
That's why it's so important to self-custody, man. Nobody can
exactly. And going back to Franklin Templeton, no, it's not that complicated, right? But unfortunately,
Jerry, maybe you should make a video for her to help her out, just to be a nice guy, be a community-minded, civic-oriented, good-natured, loving human being that we all know that you are.
I will tag her on that video. Hacks its hardware wallet after recovering.
Bring 2 million in crypto. There it is.
So the Trezor responds after YouTuber hacks its hardware wallet, recovering 2 million in crypto. How old is this?
This just happened over the weekend. This is a story from the weekend here. Finbold News.
I think it's.
no, Nick, that's the wrong. That's from 2022, Nick. That's the long story.
It was
over the weekend.
Yeah, because that one was a different one. Yeah, I was like, something's not right, because that's one from where this guy assisted somebody. He assisted somebody.
Oh, there was one. There was
getting around an old exploit, but they fixed that exploit. I'm fully aware of that one, but no, I'm not new of the new one though. Trezor investigates security breach, user information, exposed digital assets safe. Yeah, boom, what I said. So again, let's make this huge distinction between the Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, where we'll just wrap it up for the day. Right, so all of this data can be leaked. And that's not good, right? You don't want your information leaked, but we can see at the end of this statement, all the assets are safe, right? Because they didn't get to cryptographic keys, right? As long as they're not getting to your keys, your Bitcoin and other crypto assets are locked on chain, right? The UTXOs cannot be modified unless you have those cryptographic keys. So that's the huge difference, right? Is that Web 3.0 information can be leaked, but they cannot get to your assets. And that is a huge difference. Anyway, thanks so much to Bitcoin Live. Thank you to MattySats. Thank you to all of our fans that are out there, because I know we have a fan base that is growing. Please, share this.
We do?
We do.
We do? I had no idea.
You're looking around.
Wow.
They're all around you.
I don't know where they're at, but God bless you. We need all the help we can get.
Exactly. And we would thank Roundly X, QE, and all of our sponsors for putting on this great show. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace.